We're gonna have some fun today because the empty trip speed formation in the Kansas City Chiefs offense is one of the best cover 3 bombing and man press beating formations in Madden. And it's a little bit slept on because of the fact that it is empty. But don't worry, we're gonna go through a lot of stuff today, namely those cover 3 bombs, how to beat man, and also how to deal with some of the blitzes that a lot of players think you need a running back to block. So let's start off first and foremost with how do we beat cover 3 out of this formation. Now, the cool thing is you guys can freestyle the snot out of this. There are so many different ways to beat cover 3 for a 1-play score. Let's start off with the play known as double in. I think this is well equipped as a starter setup. With this particular setup, and in general with this formation, we're going to keep our twins or our running back side to the short side of the field. Our trips are going to be to the wide side. So if we were on the other hash, we would flip the formation. With this particular play right here, we are going to set up a double post combo. This is going to make it so a middle third defender found in a cover 3 will have to play over the top of Walter Payton running the deeper of the 2 posts. When this occurs, all we need to do is on the far side of the field, use a comeback route to pull down the outside third. So when we snap this ball, you're going to see here that this post route to Y is going to run free. And this is going to allow us to throw this pass lead sideways and rack this up the field, potentially for a 1-play score. Now, the cool thing about this is, let's say maybe you came out in something else. Maybe your opponent comes out in a cover 3 defense and you're stuck in maybe shock wide receiver option. One thing to note is that double in is a stock audible, so you should never really be in a spot where you don't have this. You should set that as an audible. But let's just say for the sake of argument that you're in something else and you want to attack cover 3. What we're going to do here is a slight modification. We're going to take our inside receiver on the left side, which is actually our tight end. We're going to put him on a crossing route. So you'll need either a slot apprentice or a hot route master. We're still going to use the comeback route to the B receiver on the wide side, and then you're going to have flexibility to do whatever you like with the other 2 receivers. So I'm just going to set up a drive combo here. When the ball is snapped here, you're going to see a similar result. You're going to notice that this Y receiver crosses. You're going to be able to throw this over the top of this outside third. Again, a pretty good catch animation. You could turn this up the sideline, turn this into a 1-play score. If you guys want to make sure that the safety doesn't really crowd that throw nearly as much against a cover 3, go ahead and use the post that we talked about from the first setup. So we snap this ball. You're going to see here that the post is going to pull that safety back just a little bit more. This is going to allow us the ability to throw this pass lead up and get the better animation, hopefully turning the corner for a 1-play score. So this is a great starter setup that can allow you to beat cover 3 for a 1-play touchdown. I like this play because it comes equipped with a drive combo in the event that maybe your opponent mans it up or you misread the coverage as a whole as a cover 3 and it ends up being man-to-man. You're going to get this little speed dig route, which is a really, really good man beating route. A lot of times you can throw that over the middle. You see right there, that was a universal coverage. But if they don't have a universal coverage in the slot on Lamb, he's going to be wide open. The other thing that's really good about this is if your opponent is ready for it. So let's say for whatever reason, maybe they're lurking here on this player, and then they notice right away that Y is going to be a 1-play score. We'll simulate that by putting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on that slot route. So with this, if they decide to lurk it manually, this is going to open up a hole in the middle of the field for us to maybe hit. So again, you can kind of step up into this and then hit your drive combo in the middle. Most defenses in general aren't going to have 3 hook defenders, so they're going to be using one of the 2 hook zones. Something for a check down is going to be open on this play. So that's a really, really good starter point. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about against cover 3 is going to be a 1-play touchdown the other direction. But before we do that, make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Zan Madden YouTube channel with our long form content uploaded Monday through Friday in the mornings with shorts in the afternoon. And if you enjoyed these types of schemes, make sure you guys check out Gridiron Game Plans, where we're running our Madden 25 and College Football 25 pre-sale. In Madden 24 alone, we will have uploaded over 300, yes, 300 vault tips, keeping you on top of the pro metas all year long, in the moment, sometimes even predicting them, but most importantly, countering them, so that way you guys know what to do with them when you face them online. On top of that, you guys will also get every offensive and defensive game plan for the game that you select for your pre-sale as well, at no additional charge, with members only Discord access. Make sure you guys take advantage of it. It's far and away the best offer I have all year long. Save yourself 50 bucks over going month to month. Hopefully we'll see you guys in the Discord as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up another cover 3 beater the other direction. And with this one, we're going to use a comeback route to the running back. Now for this to work, we're going to use a streak and a crosser to the inside 2 options on the trip side. We could do whatever we want with the left slot, and the B receiver is also optional as well. A lot of times I like to run him on a in route behind the crosser because that fills in nicely. If the user on the right side and they bail to run with the crosser, that in route breaks open and it's a great throw. Another thing you could do is leave B on a smoke and then put Y on a slant. That will help pull down flat zones and hopefully open up a slant to the right side of the field as well. So it's really up to you what you want to do with those 2 receivers. However, when we do snap this football, you are going to see that we have the streak pulling the middle third. The comeback pulls down the outside third, and we have the crossing route wide open for a 1-play score. I will tell you right now, it does not matter whether your opponent is on match or default setting for their cover 3. Their outside third will be pulled down all the same. So again, you take a look. The comeback route is one of the best routes for pulling down outside thirds and outside quarters in the game. Look how Revis bites down, and then that throw ends up going over his head, and it ends up being a huge score for the offense. So that's a great way for you guys to be able to beat cover 3 on either sideline. One thing that I'll mention as well is that if your opponent is running somehow some sort of, man-to-man coverage, and you need something that can, win against man, the comeback route is almost universally a great route to beat man-to-man. So let's say you snap the ball. Oh no, it's man-to-man coverage. You could actually throw the comeback route on the short sideline. And a lot of times it's going to be open. Obviously, if you're rushed on your throw, you might have to throw it a little bit early. Right there, we ended up, kind of being in a spot where the pressure forced us to do that. But a lot of times, if you can get the route to the top of the stem, you can throw it right as it turn around and come back in possession, catch it. So it's usually a pretty good man coverage beater. Now, speaking of man-to-man, this is where the game is headed right now. We've talked about bottleneck metas. We've talked about bench press. We've talked about all kinds of stuff in this game. This is the real reason we are doing this empty trips speed breakdown. And I want to give a big shout out to my brother, Colt45 over at the Virtual Lab Partner. This play we're about to show you right here, known as Hoss Y Juke, is insanely glitchy against man, in particular man press. So one of the matchups that I really want to illustrate in this is going to be Darrelle Revis against a running back. We've talked about wide receiver X factors, but this is a basic lockdown mismatch for the defense. We got Revis, he's got the universal coverage, he's got the bottleneck. He's going to be in a spot where he's going to play really, really good man press. I'm going to show you guys how to completely bust him up. So let's say that we run this Hoss Y Juke against man press and I put Walter Payton on a streak. You're going to see the bottleneck animation. He's going to wall him off. And short of just kind of like agging it, trying to ag it, we don't really have a chance to do too much unless we have an X factor. This is why Hoss Y Juke is so valuable, because you're actually going to notice here on the other side, I have Marvin Harrison, and Harrison right now does not have a beat press ability. We talked about how the max security, the double me, the rack 'em up, all have built-in beat press coding. What also has beat press coding is this option route found in Hoss Y Juke, not only to the running back, but to the B receiver. So if I go ahead and snap the football here on this, what you're going to notice is that both outside players run right by the man-to-man coverage, and you can throw these balls on the sideline. Now, the key is going to be, are they playing cover 2 man? Because in certain cases, if they are, you're going to really need to make sure that you've got Evan Ingram running something that gets vertical quickly. You want to keep that safety on the left off of him. Conversely, you want to do the same thing on the right. You want to keep the safety from Marvin Harrison, because Harrison is going to get beat press animations as well. You're going to be able to throw these balls in on the sideline if you can get the safety out of the way. So here is the key with this. If you're ever facing 2-man under, what I like to do is take advantage of this middle receiver on the trip side. He is the one that oftentimes will get a free release. The only defense that I can really think of that would press him man-to-man would be something like quarters, where they have 5 underneath corners. But in most cases, you're going to have a linebacker in man-to-man and 2-man under on him. If you can get more vertical immediately, that will take the safety off of Marvin Harrison. So you see right here, he kind of gets that beat press animation. A lot of times you could throw this right down the middle of the field, and you're going to be racking this for a potential 1-play score. A lot of times that's also going to be the user defender that has to guard that guy as well. Now, the other thing that this could do is open up the hike throw to the B receiver. So we get this press animation, and I'm just going to throw this ball out over the top of his head. And you see that we're able to complete that on the sideline. A lot of times with this, you'll get the possession catch bug on the sideline. But the other thing that's great about this is if they play any cover zero press whatsoever, either of your outside options are going to be one play scores. So you're going to see right here, look at how I've got a lob to Walter Payton off the line against that bottleneck. This is, if thrown better, obviously going to be a rack one play touchdown. So this is a great play that you guys can use to absolutely destroy any type of cover zero press. It could be mid blitz, it could be spinner, it could be the Mike blitz zero and the 3-3 cub. Don't worry, we're going to get to that momentarily. Anytime you face that, it's going to be just the easiest lob up. It's going to be in a bucket. You're going to be able to rack it for a touchdown. They have to keep a deep safety over the top of this, or else they're going to be in huge trouble. And like I said, if you guys want to try to cheat the safeties in a little bit, you see if I motion this guy, it can make that safety on the left cheat. This is going to help open up this throw. Again, you see this is a touchdown all of a sudden. So even against a 2-man under, you're going to be in a good spot. One of the things that you guys can do with this as well is kind of motion this guy in. That can sometimes make that safety kind of condense down over the slot receiver. This is going to help immensely just because this will get you in a spot where now more is going to fly down the seam. That safety is not hedging towards the sideline nearly as well, because you can oftentimes run this route so that way that safety is not in a spot where it can get over. So you see right there, I was able to throw that possession catch and get down on the sideline before he was able to contact me. So utilizing motion in this is going to be really good for you guys as well. Now that leaves us with one final thing to talk about, and that is how do we deal with the blitz in this game? Now I've done so much content, whether it be shorts or long forms. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the channel, but there is one blitz in particular that a lot of players are running, and this is the Mike Blitz Zero. Now, again, the cool thing with this is if they're playing press on you, you've got ways to just lob it up for touchdowns. But if they're over adjusting this and making it safer in terms of its coverage, maybe creating hybrid, and they're still bringing pressure, that can be confusing. So with this, what I want to introduce is kind of some ways that you guys can block this. So when you're dealing with this B gap pressure, one of the things that I'm actually a big fan of is actually motion blocking a receiver. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and slide the protection away from the direction that they slide their line. I know this sounds backwards, but if their line went to the left, we're going to slide our protection right, because that's going to bring the overhang rusher off the right side. Now, what we're going to do with this is we're going to utilize motion, and we're going to motion snap CD Lamb as he hits the left guard. So that way he becomes the extra blocker. And now all of a sudden we're looking to beat this for a one play score. You see that I'm able to do so, and we're out for a touchdown. So a pretty easy setup here to be able to kind of handle this blitz. If they're running this out of a zone, obviously, you know, you could do the same thing. But again, you see right here, we got the beat press animation off the line with our max security X factor on Herman Moore, and we're able to lob it up for the touchdown. So this is just a real quick blurb on how I deal with the 3-3 if I want to use a motion of a wide receiver. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This scheme is actually quite good against the man coverage meta and does a really, really good job against cover 3, as you saw. Hopefully you guys can kind of build something around this. Again, this was the empty trip speed in the Kansas City playbook, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.